ceremony and lots of talking points.
Finally. What the world has been waiting for. For soccer fans, you could say whatever you want to say about the Champions League, the other. I think from Monday, every single activity is geared towards the World Cup, and today you could clearly see that almost everything has come to a standstill, has come to a halt. And for me, I'm excited that the world, has got its eyes on Qatar, and amidst all the issues that popped up and everything, the world is watching, and I'm excited for football fans and for everybody. Everybody's excited.
The World Cup gets everybody talking, and you start that opening ceremony.
Yep.
The Morgan Freeman cameo.
Exactly.
That was just a sight to behold.
An interesting sight to behold. Most opening ceremonies have basically been all about, exhibiting the culture of the country with which they are hosting the game. And today we saw a part of Qatar that the world may not be privy to. Someone like me, I have not been there before. A lot of people have not been there before. Sometimes what you hear about them may not be too much pleasant and all, but today they proved to the world that, listen, we have beautiful cultures, we have amazing everything about the opening ceremony was excellent. Morgan Freeman, his speech and everything, he spoke about unity, he spoke about oneness, everything depicted that, listen, the Qatar is ready to open its doors to the world. Already in the business side, they are open to the world, but this side of them, a lot of people do not know. And the opening ceremony was very colorful. And one thing that I liked about the opening ceremony was the fact that they brought out the Arabianness in them. The exhibition of these Arabian attire, the knives and all it was an excellent, ceremony for me. I don't know about you, but for me, I think it's one of the best that I've seen.
Well, it would have been an excellent day in Qatar had the opening ceremony been followed by an opening day victory, but amidst all of the joy, excitement, you clearly see if you go to Doha right now, it will be one of mixed emotions. Having sold themselves to the world, having told the story about the culture of Qatar.
Before we go into the game,
they didn't get the result.
Yeah, before we go into the game, I think that the build-up to this tournament has been mostly characterized by controversies.
A number of them.
One major controversy basically is about the human rights issues. A lot of political activists have come in. Europe practically has been hounding Qatar, basically with human rights issues, migrant workers dying during the construction of the stadium and all of that. For me, I think that the world has been a bit unfair to Qatar. Listen, this is a nation that is practically less than around 3 million people, and even the 3 million people, out of the 3 million, just around 400,000, just 15% are, you choose to define it. He's Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. If you listen to him, he spoke about the fact that how unfair the world has been to them. And for me, I think that the world has been unfair to them. And Gianni Infantino, I don't know, maybe he made a statement saying that if you critically assess what Europe is trying to do, Europe has no moral right to criticize Qatar, because over the years, Europe has gained billions of dollars from Qatar, because Europe has countless companies in Qatar. Most of these oil companies, there are some that are Europeans. They've been gaining millions from Qatar, yet they've
Qatar
not
themselves
done
have also
exactly.
invested in many
Exactly,
European
they've not
economies.
done anything about it. So if when it suits you, you keep quiet. Right. When it doesn't suit you, you talk. So Europe does not have any moral right. And Gianni Infantino is an Italian. He's a European. So when he speaks, you could know what he's talking about. He says that FIFA is the only entity that has been able to go on ahead to address some of these issues without getting a dime from it. So for me, I think that they put these political activists and those who have their political agenda in their right place. That's what I think.
The only people who are very much not pleased with all of this has got to be Budweiser, official sponsors. You don't get to drink some beer, but he made it clear, if you don't drink beer for 3 hours, it doesn't matter. You can go drink your beer elsewhere. It's just 28 days, just for the next 20.
If you go to Rome, you do what
the Romans do.
So I don't get why people are, but if you want to drink beer, you can pay $19,000.
It's in the corporate hospitality
package. You can pay $19,000.
If you want to spend $19,000.
That's true.
Oh.
We've I think that we should leave the politics to the politicians. Those who want to play politics should go ahead and play politics. Let those world leaders, double in their politics. For us, the fans, those who travel to Qatar, you are not there to engage yourself in politics. Go watch the game. You see, the players who want to actually rise up and talk about this LGBTQ plus thing, want to put up armbands that depict their support and solidarity for these people. Listen, you're not there to, you are not an advocate. You are not an activist. You are a football player first on the pitch. You are representing your country on the pitch. Go there and play the game. Go there and exhibit the skills, the talent that we have come to love you for. And clearly, they've stood, on their feet and they've stamped their authority. Already, Hurricane and the English FA are already in hot waters.
I think I agree with you on that score. Let's stick to matters on the field. And speaking of matters on the field, Qatar came into this tournament Asian Cup champions. They came in with a lot of support from the home faithful. Lots of people were expecting an upset because in the history of the World Cup since 1930, the opening game has never been lost by the host. In the 92-year history of the World Cup, it's never happened. But Ecuador, through Enner Valencia, have rewritten the history books. And Enner Valencia today, by virtue of his brace, became Ecuador's all-time top scorer in the history of the World Cup.
True.
And he scored 5 of Ecuador's last 6 goals at the World Cup. It tells you how key he is to this particular team. They're a mixture of youth players who had cut for themselves a stride at youth levels and then were given the chance and the opportunity to make that bold step. And today, they showed why the manager had given that opportunity to step up.
I think that the Qatarians were a bit naive, because if you really study the Ecuadorian team, you should know that everything goal scoring, everything attacking revolves around Enner Valencia. But they allowed him to have a field day. I feel that, listen, we've seen a lot of World Cups. For me, one thing that I before I even address that issue, one thing that we need to understand is that there's a sense that this World Cup is going to be a memorable World Cup, because I feel 4 years ago, there's nothing about 4 years ago that on top of your head you can remember aside France winning the World Cup.
No.
Exactly. But World Cups have always been known to have those tiny little memorable moments. Listen, from the 1990 Diego Maradona scandal, Roger Milla and his dance, and that famous run by Cameroon, 1994, Roberto Baggio leading Italy. Led Italy all through the finals. You blew away that penalty kick and all of that. Beberto's celebration and all. 1998 Ronaldo's convulsion. 2002 Ronaldo's samurai haircut. There's always been that memorable moment. Even in 2006 Zidane's headbutt. Fast forward, there've always been that thing. But France, we didn't. In Russia, we didn't get that because of these political issues. But I feel Qatar is going to give us a lot of that, and it started today with the VAR controversy.
For that moment, and let's make it known to our viewers, this is one of the tournaments that has a lot of investment gone into tech.
Exactly.
Now, beyond the VAR, which you'd see in the stadiums, there's also a backup VAR which has been installed in a particular section in Doha. So that is to double check, cross-check whatever the decision has been made in the stadium. And by virtue of that backup VAR, which they have now named it as the AVAR, Assistant Video Assistant Referee, every decision at the stadium would go through a number of, and it won't just be any decision. We saw that particular talking point which you mentioned, by the slightest of margins. Football has always been fine margins.
The slightest of margins. And for me, let's I think that's what Sports 101 does better, education. Let's educate them a little bit, and our viewers and our listeners. If you were a bit confused, even some of the guys at the stadium were a bit confused.
Everybody felt, hey, this is the hand
exactly. But
interference.
What FIFA did after the 2018 World Cup was that when they realized, you see, they were trying to test this technology, but it wasn't really working. Even the normal VAR that we know, it didn't really, work to that perfection that FIFA wanted. So this technology, they started developing this technology in 2019, right after
the 2018
and with the collaboration of Adidas and other partners. So Adidas have been very integral to the success of what we are seeing. Now, what this system does is that it provides an automated offside, alert to the video match officials, and it's done in 3D, what is it called, animation, unlike what we see in the EPL, which is not in a 3D animation. Now, the unique thing about this is that the technology uses close to about 12 dedicated tracking cameras that have been installed across the roofing panels of all the stadiums. So there are 12 installed cameras. All the stadiums, the 8 magnificent stadiums, there are 12 technological cameras specifically designed for it. Now, what it does is that it tracks, they've inputted 29 specific data. So the limbs, the head, the feet, certain parts of the body that could be offside have been imputed into that camera, and also the chip in the ball. So there's a synergy that is happening. That's the technology. So when the ball is going and the player is offside, it communicates to the video match officials and the referee. That's why what we saw was not something that, the referee made a mistake or VAR ticket. No, it's a well coordinated system that FIFA has put in place. So guys, if you're watching us, listen, every single offside decision is correct
at this particular tournament.
Can never be gotten wrong. So don't sit back because of your bet and think that somebody has cheated anybody.
But nobody cheated anybody.
Exactly.
But like, moving on from that particular
Yeah.
game, if you relive this particular game,
Yeah.
it was practically men against boys.
Yeah.
If you take, for example, Qatar, it took them 49 minutes and 53 seconds
to get going.
It took them that much to have their first touch in Ecuador's box. And that should tell you for how much of the game they were living on the fringes.
Yeah.
They barely had the opportunity to threaten the Ecuadorians' goal. It was all Ecuador dominating the whole face of the game. And maybe, just maybe, but from my opinion, I feel they were overawed by the occasion. They were very nervous, having 60,000 fans beaming and supporting all of them.
60,000 fans.
Why wouldn't they get nervous? Why wouldn't they get?
I think that the coach, the Spaniard, one thing that has been synonymous about this Qatari side is that this side has been put together for more than 5 years.
Yeah.
And for me, Felix Sanchez, he was the coach of the Qatari side. He took over, I think, somewhere in 2015. He coached them from 2015. They under 20, moved on. And so there's been a gradual progression. He's been with this team trying to put together a solid team. He's been trying to put together an amazing team. But like you said, they have been overawed by the occasion. They have been overawed by the entire, what is it called, euphoria around the World Cup, because they never got going. Even the entire 90 minutes, they didn't have a single shot on target. Clearly tells you in attack, they were very blunt. They had this Ghanaian who was leading the attack. They were very, very blunt. From the blast of the whistle, the Ecuadorians led by Ene Valencia and Caicedo got going. They controlled the pace of the game, dictated the pace of the game. And I think that the way Felix Sanchez set up did not help the team. Yes, they had, all through the 5 years of his reign at Qatar, they've been playing a 5-3-2 formation. But tonight he decided to go for a 3-5-2 formation. Yes, it's a similar system, because when you lose the ball, it's basically the reverse of what you started. Meaning the wing backs were supposed to do a lot of running, aid in the attack, but we did not see that happen, because what the Ecuadorians did so was that they controlled the middle of the park. They decided to go for a 4-3-3 formation, 4-3-3 wide. When they lose the ball, it translates into a 4-2-3-1. So it was more of Ecuador tactically outwitting Felix Sanchez and a little bit of the occasion. For me, that's where I think that the Qataris lost the game.
You spoke about how Ecuador controlled the game from deep, and this is incredible. Jefferson Mendes, 74 out of 76 passes. He completed 74. It tells you the accuracy. He had a field day controlling, dominating that game. But for Ecuador, this is just one step at a time. they've got Qatar out of the way, but it didn't come easy. They had to lose captain Enner Valencia,
Yeah.
and his presence can never be underestimated. Going forward, they've got tougher games against the likes of Netherlands
And even the
then
Senegalese.
They
Yeah.
play Netherlands in their next
next
round of games. So, how much of an impact will this absence be? Should he not pass fit for the next game against Netherlands?
I think that we've been saying all this while, he's their leading goal scorer in their last 5 games. He's been scoring for fun today. I mean, how many opening games do you get a player scoring 2 goals in the World Cup? He's been very, very good to the team. If he does not get to play that game against the Dutch, I think that the Dutch defenders, led by Virgil van Dijk and Timber, would literally have a field day, because he's the guy that makes the team tick. Mendes and Caicedo and Plata, for me, are the anchors in the middle of the park. There's creativity in Caicedo. There is skill and accuracy in Mendes. And they have the ability to link up play very well with Enner Valencia, and Estrada has been excellent. I love the combination between Estrada and Enner Valencia. His absence will mean that one experience, that link up, that they know themselves very well, their movement will be missing. And so I'm hoping and praying that he does not fall victim and prey to, this World Cup has been, bedeviled with injuries. I'm just hoping that, they have close to about 4 days of rest before the second round of games. So I'm just hoping that he'll be present in the second game against that team. But they will clearly miss him, because they need his goals, they need his leadership, they need his ability to draw players away. They need that thing from him. And yes, I'm sure the coach will probably work out a plan, but you do not lose a player like Enner Valencia and expect that it will not affect your team, Dave.
But we're live, and it's coming. This broadcast is coming through at the arena.
Yeah.
And let's say thank you to our viewers. It's an interactive show. You can drop us your comments. You can also send us some super stickers.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Let's say thank you to Ya and Patrick, who are making our accounts smile. So,
exactly. So thank you very much. Yeah,
thank
and Patrick.
you very much for.
Where are they watching us from? We'd like to give a shout out. USA at Arena in Takrady at the Takrady. It's a beautiful location. It's a beautiful place. So if you're in Takrady this Christmas, just pass by the arena. You will love it. It's an amazing place.
And this World Cup, there's a lot on offer. Before we delve into other matters of the opening, let's just give them a taste of what is to come.
Okay.
So, I've been informed that you have the chance to win a television.
A TV set. Huge.
A huge TV set.
Huge TV set.
And yes, we're Ghanaian, so this is Ghana bias anyway. So, on the Ghanaian games, which will be played at this particular, starting on this Thursday, there's a big draw. And you need to make your way to our World Cup village.
So viewers, you see, David is a bit, very diplomatic.
No, I'm just trying to.
They will not be diplomatic. Listen, you stand the chance of winning a TV set. I mean, huge television set. And we are not joking. When it comes to Sports 101, when we say we'll do it, we'll do it. You stand a chance of winning a TV set. And we're doing this in partnership with Electroland Ghana in Accra. So, hey, those in Accra, you can locate Electroland Ghana. You can get all your amazing electronic gadgets, your TV set, your washing machines, your blenders, your cookers, your kettle, everything electronic. You can get them at Electroland Ghana. But like we were saying, so on the Ghanaian games or the Ghana games, so our game with Portugal
this Thursday.
Our game
that is a big.
Yeah, our game against South Korea, our game against Uruguay, and if Ghana progresses to the next round. So what we'll do is that we have what we call more or less like a draw. So we'll be running by you, as time goes on, where we'll be doing this live viewing. So you join us on our live viewing train of a sort, wherever we are. You join us, and if you're able to make it there, you just predict.
Simply predict.
You just predict, and if you have about 10 people predicting rightly, we'll put you in a lucky draw, and you stand a chance of winning TV station. That's what happens. You win a TV set, huge TV set.
So if you're watching me and you want to win the TV set, it's pretty simple. Just hope everybody doesn't choose your predictions. But let me read through some of the comments we get in here. This one from PK Justice says, "It's about time I need to switch my nationality to Qatar." Wouldn't be a bad option.
Why is PK saying he wants to switch his nationality?
Maybe he wants to play. He just opposes his talent to what he witnessed.
Money in Qatar.
He needs to go there. But this one from Erica Bayer says, "Qatar were absolutely rubbish there." And this one from Emmanuel Apia says, "Great job, guys." Richard Cyrus Odum says, "Qatar losing this particular game is no news because almost all the players were parts."
Working.
Were part of the construction workers, so they couldn't have time to train. That was quite a funny one there. This one from Mascherano says, "Ciao from Italy." Shout outs to you from Mascherano in Italy as well there. So yes, Richard Cyrus, you're asking if you're going to win a TV set. Yes, you can win a TV set.
TV set
This Thursday.
A big one.
You
Let
can
me
win
add
a
very
big
TV
set this Thursday. Do join us at our World Cup village. It will be announced in our subsequent videos. This is just a teaser. I just want to whet your appetite. All you need to do is join us at our World Cup village this World Cup, and we're offering you amazing offers.
So they should just follow us on all our social media platforms. They're at where we'll be doing the viewing. It will be on our Facebook page. It will be on our Twitter page, our Instagram page, our TikTok page. Just like our videos, subscribe if you have not subscribed. We don't want to put out the location yet. It's one of the secrets. We have amazing,
Tomorrow
offers.
will be live.
Yes, tomorrow will be live. Throughout the entire World Cup will be live.
Throughout the World Cup will be live. And each day we'll give you a tip. Today, the tip is you get to win a TV set.
TV set.
A huge
you
TV
stand
set.
the chance of winning a TV set.
Tomorrow we'll tell you the location.
Exactly.
And then subsequent days, all you just need to do from now to Thursday, go and consult the Oracle. Find out the correct scoreline between Ghana and Portugal. If you get it right, you walk away with a TV set. Whoever walks away with a TV set, I'm going with you this World Cup.
Yeah. So guys, those who are watching, kindly share the link with friends as well. Tell them to join us live. We are live. David, let me run by you interesting figures in terms of money when it comes to this World Cup. Listen, this is the most expensive World Cup in the history of FIFA trying to organize, or FIFA organizing World Cup competitions. According to the Qatar finance minister, in the first every week throughout the entire process of they trying to put the World Cup together, every week they spent $500 million. This was put together by Forbes. Now, in that process, the entire money that Qatar has spent on this World Cup is $220 billion. Not million, billion dollars. Now, an amazing thing too that people need to know is that the amount of money, that's the prize money, has been increased to $42 million. So whoever lifts the trophy is earning $42 million. That's a lot of money. Now, it is reported that Nike is giving out $60 million to the teams that are sponsored by Nike. Clearly, everything about this World Cup is money, money, money. It smells money. Another thing that people need to also know is that David Beckham, he's the Qatar's ambassador for football development for the next 10 years. You know how much he's earning? Try and give a guess.
I want to check. 100 million?
Nope.
300 million?
Nope.
500 million.
He's earning $277 million for the next 10 years as Qatar's football development ambassador.
I'm also David, so I just have to adopt the Beckham surname.
I think I'm in the wrong profession, man. I should have played football. But clearly, everything about this World Cup is money. And an estimated 1.8 billion is to be given out to the American Gaming Association just for the World Cup. So Qatar is trying to sell the World Cup with what they know how to do best. They are rich. They are a rich nation. So I think that for our viewers out there, this World Cup is a World Cup that is, blessed with first. Now, the first World Cup to be literally
held in the Middle East.
First World Cup to be a semi-automated World Cup in a way. The first World Cup that we are having a host nation lose the opening game. The first goal has been scored from a spot kick. Clearly, it's about first. Are we going to see an African team winning for the first time?
That would be the multi-million dollar question we try to find answers to. And speaking of African countries, the first African country to kick a ball at this tournament is Senegal.
It's Senegal.
And they play the Netherlands tomorrow.
Dave, before we get into that game, because it's going to affect the dynamics of the game, Qatar have lost their first game. How do they approach their second game? Because if they lose, they're out.
It's a hands-on approach, particularly for Qatar. But much of that would go into the result of the Senegal versus Netherlands game. Because if Senegal end up losing that game, then it's a winner-takes-it-all battle against Qatar.
It'll be a football war.
Exactly. If Senegal end up getting a positive result against the Netherlands, then they have the comfort of having a go at Qatar, not investing much, because they know either way, Ecuador and Netherlands, one of them is bound to drop points. So much of it would depend on what happens in tomorrow's game. But for Qatar, from their perspective, it's a winner takes it all. They know if they lose the game against Senegal, which is their second group game, they are heading home. They're actually home, by the way. So
yeah, they just, pick a taxi and go to their bedrooms.
But Senegal playing the Netherlands, and much of the talk has not been on the game, but it's been what has happened off the field. The absence of Sadio Mane. And if you look at Opta right before the tournament kicked off, Senegal were one of the best placed African sides to make it. But their odds to make the group stage has dwindled dramatically following the confirmation of Sadio Mane's absence. It's a big question a lot of people are trying to find answers to. And I'd also ask you, how do Senegal navigate past this hurdle? Because we saw how instrumental he was in the African Cup of Nations. We saw how instrumental he was in that World Cup playoff against Egypt. He is everything Senegal. Senegal is Sadio Mane. He's now absent. It's upon the rest of the crew to take up the mantle and play for the captain. Others also believe it offers Senegal the X factor now, because practically when you are doing a prep up, I listened to Louis Van Gaal. He made the fact that Sadio Mane is a player he idolizes, because back in his days at Manchester United, the player he had wanted to sign. But Senegal without Sadio Mane now offers a different pattern. The Dutch team would have to think outside the box, figure out how they can neutralize the threats the Senegalese will pose. Is this a good or bad omen?
For me, I think that it's a bad omen, because listen, no one can, no one can underestimate the influence of Sadio Mane to that Senegalese team, or in that Senegalese team. He's a leader not just on the pitch, off the pitch as well. The Senegalese have a system where players that play outside Europe, especially in England, they have a leader who, when you walk into the English Premier League, you don't just live your life like that. Everyone reports to Sadio Mane. It's actually a system that the Senegalese FA have put in place. And so he's a leader to the players wherever they find themselves. And he has exhibited that on countless occasions. In their quest to qualify for the World Cup, he's the guy that took the final penalty. In their quest to lift the trophy, the AFCON trophy for the first time, he's the one that took that bold step to kick the final, have the final spot kick. So his influence to this Senegalese team transcends the pitch. He's a father figure to them. He's a leader to them. He's more or less an extension of Cisse, the coach, on the pitch. So his absence, for me, is a big blow. It maybe for us Ghanaians, we are not in the, but it's a huge blow to this Senegalese team. They may not be talking about this because the team needs to keep a cool head. The games are already here. There's nothing you can do over spilled milk, but it's a big blow to them. I do not know who is going to, and how his absence is going to affect the one who is actually replacing him, because listen, you have a big boat to fill. And for me, they need to gather themselves. They need to psych themselves up. Our own buddy Kofi Asiedu has always been talking about that psychological vulnerability and this mental block. And this is one of the tests of mental strength that they need to overcome, because your captain, your leader is not there anymore. How do you garner yourself? How do you, literally put yourself together and play for him? Like you always say, it could be a positive, reinforcement for them. Okay, we are playing for our leader who is not there. It could also be a negative reinforcement for them. It could break them down and it could affect their play. But I think that honestly, I do not know, but I'll miss him. For me, like you said, before he was out, people actually tipped them that they will carry Africa's
Africa.
flag to probably the semi-finals, but their odds have dropped, and I think that is clear. I'm hoping that they would give us an indication of what is expected from them, or what we should expect from them in the next their subsequent games. In that game against the Dutch, if they are able to get a draw in that game, I think that Senegal will make it out of the group, because if they're able to get a draw in that game, it means that their next game they play Qatar. A win for them automatically places them, on the verge of qualifying for the round of 16, because,
4 points
like you said, the Dutch and what is it called?
Ecuador,
Ecuador, one will definitely drop points. So for me, they should approach that game with the mindset that this game is akin to our last game. If we win, we qualify, because if they lose this game, it will really affect them. You're playing the host nation next, who need the maximum 3 points. So, it's an interesting game to watch tomorrow.
What I think adds up to this particular bite is Senegal, depending on the results, could set the tone for Africa at this entire tournament.
Yeah.
Because we've spoken at length about what it means to be the flag bearer, what it means to be the hope. And if Senegal managed to get a positive result in that game against Netherlands, what it does is it sends signal to all African countries, hey, Senegal has been able to do this. We can go on to do better, because it's a World Cup of first. Africa would continue to seek for its first semi-final spot. It will continue to seek for its first finalist. And it all starts from here. It starts from the group stage.
Yeah.
You look at it around and the group combinations and pairings. Senegal do have by far the easiest comparatively across all the other African countries. And so they will need to get the results. They'll need to send signals to the other African countries and let them know that, hey, we're here for business.
Yeah.
Weather-wise, it somewhat favors
Yeah.
the Africans, because we've heard a number of players from Europe complain about the fact that the heat is extremely terrible, it's energy sapping and all of that. But we see how it will play into the course of the game. But let me take a few comments from our viewers, because it's an interactive show.
Yep.
We need to let their voice be known to the world as well. So this one from Richard Cyrus says, electoral land and the appliances be affordable and quality. That's where I bought my microwave. Yes. So we're offering you a chance to win a TV from Electoral Land as well. So do make it a point to follow us all throughout this World Cup season, and we'll give you the location, the hideout for
Let
the
them know
draw.
we are not giving them fake products.
No. This is coming from Electoral Land.
Exactly.
And this one from Lyrics, quite funny here, but it says a third division team in Apremdo can beat this Qatar team.
Lyrics, why?
Lyrics, please. Don't let me laugh on this. Please. Let me try and be as calm as possible. Let me take some of the construction. Let me take some of the comments here. It says, please, where can I sign up to play for Qatar? We'll try and reach the Qatar Federation for you and let you know how we can. But this one from our very own friend.
Okay.
He says contraction workers ampa. He's actually trying to refer to the Qatari team.
But I think that, the fans are there are being a bit unfair.
they're being
Qatar is
mean.
not a football nation. Now, what they've done is they have a developmental project for the next 10 years. And they started off, there's a reason they brought Xavi. Felix Sanchez is a Spaniard. They are trying to model their game around the Spanish, game. That they won they are the AFC, champions. So it's not that they are bad. I think, like you said, they were overall by the occasion, and listen, they do not have world-class players.
They play the occasion and not
Exactly.
the game, and that's exactly what happened.
It got into their head.
But Marjorie Awuku has also sent us a number of.
Anyway,
Yeah.
for our viewers in US, in London, in UK, wherever you're doing the watching from, in Italy, Germany, wherever, listen, we appreciate this so much, and we thank you for the support. Keep supporting us as always.
Keep dropping the stickers. You're making us smile. We appreciate the support.
Smiling. We may not have been in Qatar, but we are smiling.
We're actually smiling.
Exactly.
So do give us the support. We love you, and we're doing this basically because of them. And let's touch on Senegal, Netherlands, the dynamics of which areas to consider. Because remember, we had a preview of this one, and viewers who are watching us for the first time, kindly go to Sports 101, check our videos. You can find Senegal versus Netherlands preview there. And we're doing this live at the Arena pub at the Takrady Mall in Western region of Ghana. Do make your way here as well. It's one of the places this World Cup season all the fun and party will be happening. The World Cup train is going round.
Yeah.
Today, it first stops at Arena.
Arena.
The next stop will be another blockbuster location.
You should follow us on all our social media platforms. Like you said, we'll be dropping pointers as to where we are going. It's more or less like we are on a journey, so we want you to follow us on that journey. So.
You know, the ball for the World Cup is known as Al Rila in Arabic. Now, if you translate Al Rila to English, it means the journey.
Yes. Brilliant. So we are
at this year's World Cup.
We are
Sports 101 is on a journey.
No, say we are anyway, but you see, another interesting fact before we talk about the Senegalese, you know where Ghana is playing?
Yeah.
We are in Stadium 974. Now the reason why that stadium is named 974 is it was basically built with 974 containers, shipping containers that was used to design or build. So it's actually detachable and removable. And after this World Cup, any country that wants it, Qatar is willing and ready to donate. Trust me, I saw the interior of that edifice and it's amazing. So I question, Africans, we have a lot of containers here. Why can't we do this thing? But
you know, some team is doing container projects. I don't want to.
I've said it. I've said it. But those who will be following the Ghana games with Sports 101, listen, you need to keep an eye for Stadium 974, built with 974 containers. When it comes to Sports 101, we always give you information, war research, facts, and all of that. So just follow us. Now, a bit on the Senegalese team. Let me run by you the squad as we speak because of the injuries and all of that. Those that are fit and available now, they are handled by Aliou Cisse, who is the coach who was with them in 2002 in that incredible run at Korea and Japan. Now there's Alfred Gomez who plays for Rennes. He's a goalkeeper, and they have. I may not be able to run by you the entire squad, but listen, for me, this Senegalese team is a solid team. It's a team that has been put together the long haul. One thing that Cisse has done so well is that this is not a team that has been assembled right now. This team was put together. He's been putting this team together for the last 4 years. And what makes this Senegalese team great is the fact that they have been playing together for more than 3 years. National teams are not like club teams where you get close to just about a few weeks of training and you need to perfect your game plan. But this team has been together for the past 3-4 years. That's one thing that is going for this Senegalese team in comparison to the Dutch team. The Dutch team, recently was put together by Louis van Gaal. They were previously handled by, they were previously handled by the former Barcelona manager. He left, went to Barcelona.
Former Manchester United manager as well.
Let's not go there. But this is made up of brilliant young players. I mean, you could name them: Julien Timber,
Cody Gakpo, Steven Bergwijn,
Memphis Depay.
Xavi Simons is also
another brilliant young chap. It's made up of brilliant, young players with a blend of experienced guys, but handled by an excellent tactician in Louis van Gaal. For me, he's their trump card. It's not the players, because whatever Louis van Gaal we see with the Dutch team is a reflection of Louis van Gaal. They were brilliant in the Nations Cup. They were brilliant.
They're on a
Euros.
20-game unbeaten run, stretching back as far back as 2020. And this is actually an appearance at the World Cup, having missed out on the 2018 edition. So they're looking to make a statement. And like you mentioned, he's a trump card. He's a trump card because he's got a perfect blend of youth and experience. And under his leadership, under his experience, he's the best man to guide you. And let's not forget, this is his last bow, because after the World Cup, he's going on a recovery train, and he would want to bow out with a mark.
In style, he's got a little bit of a habit of being a hot-headed, guy who always wants to have his way. It's my way or the highway. But I think that every good coach has that element in him. Listen, There were times when we're told Alex Ferguson said it's my way or the highway. David Beckham had to leave because of that. Ruud van Nistelrooy had to leave because these great managers are managers who are able to establish their authority. They are managers who are able to establish that I am the alpha male in the team. And for me, we have seen his attitude, his tactical acumen reflect on this team. Listen, they play what we've come to know as the total football that the likes of Johan Cruyff in the 80s and in the 70s made us love and witness so much in the Dutch team. They defend as a unit, they attack as a unit, they have explosive wingers and they exploit that. So listen, the Senegalese team need to be wary of this team. They may be young, they may not be flashy, flamboyant names as we've seen, but listen, this is a team that can hurt any team in this tournament. So I'm expecting Tite, for me, like I said, they should use this Dutch game to pick up the needed point. They shouldn't go for, if the opportunity is there for them to go for the win, they should go for it. But for me, they should be very, very, very defensive minded. We spoke about how Cisse has been always attacking in all the over 14 games that he's played. He's played 14 games. He's drawn 2 and won the rest. He's somebody that plays a 4-3-3 dynamic when they are defending 4-2-3-1, where there's always that holding midfielder in the middle who tries to break the attack of the opposing team. When they have the ball, they are a bit shielded in midfield. For once, I think that they should shed off their attacking, play, and be a bit more defensive minded because of how the Dutch play. I think that they should go into that game against the Dutch with the mindset of, I need a point.
I couldn't agree any less, because you look at it, it's all about group dynamics. It's all about trying to figure out which particular battles you can win and which particular battles you can surrender. Because, as Kofi puts it, this is a marathon, and you need to choose which points to exert much energy and which points not to. And for me, I think this is a game where Aliou Cisse would need to sacrifice all-out attack approach. This is not about being chickening out or being a coward, but it's about picking the right result. Because
smart.
If Senegal do get a decent result, if they don't get heavily beaten against the Netherlands, what it does gives them confidence to go into the game against Qatar, who themselves have had their confidence struck deeply by the fact that they lost on the opening game. Because if you go into that second game against Qatar downtrodden on the back of a 3-0 or 4-0 hammering on the opening game, you definitely have the mindset of trying to erase the deficit of the goal difference. That's the first point of call, even before securing the 3 points. Because it could go down the long haul, and goal difference could be a key factor in deciding who makes it out of the group. So for me, Senegal would need to be smart about this. Approach the game, surrender possession to the Netherlands, allow them have the ball, but pry on their strengths. Because in Senegal, they've got themselves the likes of Ismail Assar, who is very good on the counter. You've got the likes of Crepin Diatta, Bamba Dieng. All of these players are pacey players, athletic players who know how to surgeon when the opportunity and space is offered them.
They start to, be a bit attacking in their approach instead of they trying to be a bit possessive, because Senegal have always been very possessive. They love to, they play a more possessive and positional football. They love to pick out, the positions in the other team and exploit those positions. Instead of they, being possessive and positional in their play, I think that they should be a bit counter-attacking. Sit deep, soak up the pressure, be a bit tight in the middle, tight at the back, exploit the pace of, Dieng and Sarr. See how best, you can outrun the likes of, Virgil van Dijk, who we know that sometimes his defending is a bit suspect. Let's see how, they can go at them. But let's switch a little bit. Do you know that it's also another first? This will be the first time that a female referee will be refereeing in the World Cup.
Yeah, we could have Salima Mukasanga, Yoshimi Yamashita, and then Stephanie Fraffat. They are the 3 lucky females.
You always speak about the universe. Can I align with you that, listen, we are having too many firsts in this World Cup? The universe might just align with the first and decide that this will be the first time we will have 2 African countries in the quarterfinals, the first time we will have an African country in the semifinals, the first time we will have an African country in the final. If that were to happen, which African country would you wish would be in the final? Don't mention Ghana, because the world will know you are biased.
I would
If
have.
Said is listening, he's shaking his head. Ghana cannot be in the final.
Well, you, you know, Kofi has never loved Ghana.
Oh, what? Don't create the
No, no, no,
impression that
no,
Kofi doesn't love Ghana. He doesn't love the Black Stars because they are not a good team.
no.
If they're a good team, he will love them.
Kofi has never loved Ghana, and I think it's high time we get him to explain to us why he thinks the Black Stars wouldn't make it out. Because off the top of my head, this is a World Cup of first. I feel Ghana would make it to the quarterfinals. Ghana will make it to the semifinals. But Kofi is emphatic that
Yeah.
Ghana wouldn't even make it past the group stages. And he's got to have his say.
He's got to have his say,
So,
man.
Kofi,
Kofi, you have to tell us why, viewers. I mean, I'm sure some of us have been wondering, where's Kofi, where's Kofi, where's Kofi? Kofi is here. He would have to explain to us why he has a little bit of disdain for the Black Stars, Kofi.
Hello. Yes, I don't think I have a disdain for the Black Stars. I'm
Okay.
just a realist. I go about doing my job, and I think that in the course of doing my job, when it's time to speak the truth, we speak the truth, and those who have to listen have to listen. But I think that it's been interesting this far. I've listened to the discourse between yourself and David, and I think that it's been very, very interesting. I think that the first day has been superb. I think that uh, we saw a classic example of beautiful performances at play. We've seen very important personalities. Morgan Freeman was at the stadium. Amazing times. And for me, I think that Qatar announced itself to the world, and in a grand style. I can see why the Europeans have been fuming and fuming and fuming.
They're jealous.
It was just a display of proper wealth. And
Yeah.
for me, if you have money and you cannot flaunt it around, I mean, what's the essence? Qatar showed people in the West that
They're
this
rich,
is
man.
real money. This is where the cash is. And I'm excited about the days that lie ahead. But
What do you make of the game? We've spoken extensively about the game, but we want to take your opinion. Some people think that, listen, this Qataris team is practically made up of construction workers and guys who, a lot of people expected a lot from Qatar because they had a manager who's been with them for more than 5 years in Felix Sanchez, a Spaniard who has, worked his trade in the La Liga before. So we're expecting some quality football, and like we said, they are the AFC champions, and so people were okay. Let's see what the AFC champions do. But a lot of people were disappointed. I don't know what you make of the Qatari team.
well, I was not disappointed. I think I agree with the people. Ecuadorians. I think that a lot of people this side are also a bit naive about some of the things that have happened in the other jurisdictions.
Yeah.
If you followed Ecuador, they have been one of the dark horses indeed
Toughest
for
competitors
for
in
a
South
country to
America.
play 18 matches in the qualifiers just to get to the World Cup, being because they find themselves in South America. Having gone through all of that exercise, I think that they would be worthy opponents for any other team to face. And for me, I look at the Ecuadorians. People have not simply watched the Ecuadorians. If you have watched a lot of Turkish football, you wouldn't be surprised Enner Valencia and the form he's been in. He's been in absolute smashing form for Fenerbahce. And I think that if you
can hold the mic.
yes, I mean he's been in smashing form for Fenerbahce, and I think that you look at the way he's been able to carry the team. People who have watched the EPL have always had fond memories of him. But I think that what this Ecuadorian team has is that they have a mix of young and old, experience, and a lot of probably very young, athletic, energy-filled team. And you look at how they performed. They have so many options down their ranks, and I was very impressed with them. They were not fazed by the home crowd. First game of the World Cup, they were not fazed. They played their own game. They have the ability to slow down the game
Yeah.
and to up the tempo when the need be. And I think that if there's a team that has to be one of the dark horses on the evidence of what we have seen in the first game, I heard you talk about Estrada.
Yeah.
Estrada perfectly complements Enna Valencia,
Valencia.
because what Enna Valencia lacks, Estrada has in abundance. He's very good in the air, he's very athletic, he's very quick. Enna Valencia himself is very quick. And I think that overall, very impressed with this Ecuadorian team. And I think that the composure they showed at the back, the steal in the middle, Moses Calcedo, solid player. The steal they showed in the middle, the kind of pace they have up front. I think that if you are the Dutch, if you are the Senegalese, you should stand up and take a lot of notice about what this Ecuadorian team offers.
I mean, Kofi's carrying this Senegalese team and the Dutch, but I think that I agree with you perfectly. They will be one of the dark horses in this tournament because Felix Plata too was excellent together with Mendes in the middle. Some may say, well, the opposition, Qatar did not offer them anything in terms of something to worry about. But if you see a good team, you should see it no matter the opposition. But for the viewers out there, for the Panthers out there, let's try and do this. Listen, we know you guys, this is one of the World Cup that a lot of people will be making money. Aside the gift that Sports 101 has for you, let's not forget we are shooting from the arena. The arena is located in Takrady in the Western region. So for our guys in the US, UK, Germany, those that will be coming down to Takrady in December, listen, look for the arena at the Takrady Mall. It's an amazing place to spend your weekend, and a place to enjoy and all of that. But for the Panthers out there, Senegal, Holland. Let me give out some few punts and Panthers or whatever and odds over 2.5. Holland win over 2.5. That's one of, for me, I think that we are going to see a lot of goals in that game and the Dutch will win. As much as I'm rooting for Senegal, I feel that Holland have enough arsenal in them to gun them down. Argentina, Saudi Arabia is one of the games that you need to go for handicap win, huge handicap win, because listen, the Argentine team would tear them apart. And the Panthers, they know what I mean by when I say handicap win. Then there's England, Iran. I think that England win over 1.5, or you can decide to go that both teams to score. But let's touch a little bit about the England Iran game. The English team is a bit of a conundrum for me. Gareth Southgate, you don't know what to expect from him, Kofi. I don't know about you, but do you see this English team replicating their feat at the Euros?
Well, for me, we have come to be blunt. We have come to speak the truth, and I think the truth is that in Southgate, the English do have an Aquisapia. Somebody who does not understand the moment. Somebody who does not really optimize the quality at his disposal. And for me, I do not think the English are going to replicate the form that they showed at the Euros. I think that the English might not end up going too far in this tournament because of Gareth Southgate. I think that you look at Southgate, you look at his technical prowess. I've always doubted him technically. I've always doubted him tactically. I think that he was not too excellent a footballer. He's bang average a manager. And for me, I do not know why the English have kept a lot of faith in Southgate. But you see, we've talked about Iran. Iran were one of the teams that really nearly caused an upset in the last World Cup. And if you look at the Iranians, they are coached right. They are coached by Carlos Queiroz, and they have some of the best players they have a striker with Porto. You look at their team, very, very compact team, very, very, very organized. And for a team,
Mediterranean.
Exactly, he's one of the top scorers for Porto in the of the English boys on the day who end up making that difference. Because if you have players in the ilk of Harry Kane, if you have the ilk of Bukayo Saka, if you have players in the ilk of maybe Raheem Sterling, if he's able to find his old form, Bellingham, fantastic player. We are talking about
I'm
one of the
expecting
best
that this
midfielders in the
tournament
world
will
this
be
season.
one of those tournaments that the world will see why he's one of the most talked about young players in the world.
Well, for anyone who hasn't watched Jude Bellingham, he's not a hype. That's the one thing I can tell you. Jude Bellingham is not a hype. Very, very good player, proper footballer. He's a proper footballer. He's anything unlike a British, and for the kind of midfield
German.
exactly he looks. I think he
Looks
looks
more
like
a
he looks
German
more a German than
midfielder,
an English. And for me, I think that he's one of those players that we need to be on the lookout for in this particular World Cup. I am tempted to think that whoever ends up pairing it, I think that we'll see a World Cup for Declan Rice. We will see probably a World Cup with Calvin Phillips also in there, because they look like the two players that the manager trusts in the midfield. So we are hoping to seeing that particular combo. But I think that the Iranians will not be a walk in the park for the English, and the English would need to step up their game if they are really going to beat the Iranians.
Yeah, so one down, 63 to go. I think that, like, there's a saying in our local parlance: if a game is going to be exciting, you need to look at how the entire game is in a day. Do you think that we are going to have an amazing tournament? I spoke earlier on about the fact that the World Cup has always been filled with moments, something that 4 years or you can still recollect, unlike the 2014 World Cup. The last World Cup was 2018, right, in Russia. Yeah, that apart from France winning, there's nothing that you can actually remember or recollect, from. But this World Cup, do you think that we are going to have moment? We just had a moment with the offside incident that a lot of people did not understand, but thankfully Sports 101 explained.
Well, I think this World Cup has already positioned itself to be one of the great World Cup. Yes, I've always had a problem with the timing. The timing has not made it possible for the world to see the very best players in the world. I think that's the one thing that is going to probably take the shine away from this World Cup. If you look at the players who have had to drop out from their various national teams, just yesterday, Karim Benzema had to drop out. Paul Pogba has dropped out, and you see there was an interesting conversation with Pogba and Kanté. In the over 20 games they have played for France. France have never lost a game when the two of them have played. You understand? But I think that's another door opened for Kamavinga, for Chouameni. We are going to have an interesting World Cup, and if scenes from today are anything to go by, I think that the stage is set right. Tomorrow we expect to see another firework of a game between the Senegalese and the Dutch, and we expect to see another cracker between the English and the Iranians, and then Wales. You get to see Gareth Bale, who now plays in the MLS, and playing against some of his compatriots in the MLS. So yes, I mean, so Pulisic will also be in there. The Americans have a decent team. They have a very good coach, and I think that I think that this will be one of the most remarkable World Cups, and for me, it will leave a lot of memories, because the people of Qatar have embraced the World Cup. The people of Qatar have, as it were, decided to envelope the World Cup as one of their own. And I think that the sort of support they have showed the various teams. I saw a video of the Portuguese team landing in Qatar, and then the reaction from the fans, the sweet celebration. Even though I'm definitely have a great World Cup.
Yes, I strongly, align with Kofi. Who definitely, there's an amazing World Cup. And hey, like we said, one down, 64 games to go. And the amazing thing, 63, sorry. The amazing thing? Sport 101 has you covered for all those games. News, the breaking point, everything. But hey, like I said, we are shooting this live video from the arena located at the Takrady Mall. So those in Takrady, you know where the Takrady Mall is. Just check out the arena. Amazing scenery, amazing place to spend your weekend. And hey, a big shout outs to the managers of Arena, Albert and Bishop. We are so much grateful. The Sports 101 team say a big thank you for hosting us. And like we said, Tomorrow we'll be live. We'll be live tomorrow. And most importantly, and more importantly, for all the Ghana games in the group stages against Portugal, against South Korea, against Uruguay, Sports 101 is going live. And we are doing this with you. Just follow us on all our social media platforms, and we'll be giving out, or we're putting out, tips on how you can win the TV sets, not TV sets, blenders, name them. But more importantly, we are doing this with Electroland Ghana. They are located in Accra. If you are in Accra, pass through Electroland Ghana. You can have access to washing machines. Actually, I'm being told they are all around, everywhere in Ghana here. Electroland Ghana, washing machine, blenders, irons, television sets, name them, the big brands. You can find them at Electroland Ghana. But we are very, very much grateful to those who are in a huge support to this live course. We say thank you very much. My name is Lucky Soglo. He is Kofi Asiedu. You saw David. The entire team will be here. There's Percy on board. There's Kofi Mensah. The entire Sports 101 team. If you've been following our channel, you know the guys that you love so much. We have you covered for this World Cup season. Like we said, we love you, and hopefully we'll see you again tomorrow.